I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're exploring the inspiring book called Built for This: The Capacity of a Woman by Rena Washington. This empowering guide is filled with real-life stories and encouragement, serving as a blueprint for women navigating life's challenges with faith and resilience. Join us as we uncover how this book uplifts, strengthens, and reminds every woman that they are never alone on their journey. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Rena, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Love this book. I think it's very inspirational. What gave you the idea to come up with this book?
So, the idea to come up with this book, I think, stemmed from a lot of real life occurrences for myself, and that I have just witnessed other women going through. Um, Being a hairdresser for so many years and having those intimate conversations, a lot of people say when you go to the hairdresser, it's just like going to a therapy session. And so just listening to a lot of women and the things that we go through in life, it seems like we're all living the same life sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So this book was meant to inspire and encourage women of all walks, that even though we go through some of the same things, there are ways that we can overcome our challenges. And this was to share those ways that we overcome some of our challenges.
Wonderful. Well, what are some of your life hacks for those pressing challenges that we have in life? Let's go through one that stands out right now.
Definitely my faith in God. That's
Mhm.
first and foremost. There's always an answer to the questions that you have in the good book.
Mhm.
And so I rely heavily on that. And then I always rely on God also to connect me to people that um, can help guide me in certain ways. A lot of times as women, we feel like we have to have all the answers, and that's just simply not true. We don't necessarily have to have all the answers, and we should let go of our pride sometimes and allow someone else to help us sometimes to find those answers or to navigate life's challenges. Um, and we have to
Absolutely.
let our guard down to be able to do that. So,
It takes a strong person sometimes to ask for help, and we
right.
all need help at times during our life for sure. So don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed, don't think it makes you look weak. It makes you look
Exactly right.
human, which we all, of course, are.
Mhm.
Community is important. Tell us about the role that community plays in overcoming obstacles.
So we've built a great community of women. I started a nonprofit organization called The Real Her. And it was just after COVID. And so many people just, it seemed like so many people were just alone. Um, and I said, I think we should start doing something that kind of brings us together. And so when we started coming together, it was overwhelmingly better than I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe a few people here and a few people there, but the numbers increased and the attendance in our events started to increase. And I realized that it is necessary for us to have a community of like-minded people that are able to be accountability partners, that we're able to push each other towards our goals. And sometimes we're able to lean on each other in times of challenging times. So community is very, very important for women and for men as well. But, in this case, what we're talking about, it's very important for us women to have a community that we can come together and rely on each other as well.
Sometimes women aren't as supportive of other women as they should be.
Right.
So it's important that you stick together. It's important that you empower each other. And,
Exactly.
I think everybody will benefit without a doubt. What are some of the practical tools or strategies and built for this that you feel women can apply to their lives right now?
Some of the practical tools, again, first and foremost, there's your faith,
Mhm.
and building that faith by the things that you read, the things that you listen to, the things that you put your attention and your energy into is very important. Um, so getting away from a lot of negativity and relying on faith-filled things to help navigate. And then on top of that, we talked about community. You also want to have those people around you that can give good, wise counsel as well. Sometimes we listen to people and things that are just not necessarily what we should be listening to, as far as being able to strengthen ourselves, being able to grow. And so the tools are faith, the tools are community, and also your family.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that, or a lot of people feel that sometimes I can rely on my family and sometimes I can't rely on my family. But sometimes if you're not vulnerable, you never will know the answer to that question. And so we have to be also vulnerable to the people in our lives at some point in time as well, so that we can gain from those experiences. So those are some of the tools that I talk about in the book, to help you realize that we're not in this walk alone. There are things that we all go through, but there are also ways that we overcome together. And
Yep.
there are some journeys that you have to take by yourself as well. But building your faith will help you and allow you to do those things.
Absolutely, I agree. Faith, family, community, three pillars of a strong, balanced life and a
Yeah.
successful person, and tapping into each of those to give you inspiration, to give you courage, to give you strength, all very, very important. You're the busiest woman in show business. You've got this book, you've got a blog, you've got a podcast, you've got a nonprofit called The Real Her. Tell us a little bit about your life and your work to empower women.
So my focus has always been to inspire, motivate, and celebrate everybody that crossed my path to their next level of success. And by that, it can mean anything that you're going towards. It doesn't necessarily have to be pinpointed to one thing. So whether it's entrepreneurial goals, whether it's goals climbing up the corporate ladder, whether it's goals of mending your family, whether it's goals in your marriage. And so I use all of these tools because there's so many people and there's so many ways to reach them. So I write because some people love to read. I podcast because some people love to listen on their way to work, you know. And so we have the Real Her organization because some people do better with actually being in a forum where they can just be open, and hear the testimonies of other people. And that's how some of them are able to overcome, because they realize that, it's like I said, sometimes we're all living the same life. Um, and so those things, or those mediums, are how I reach people. And I've realized since I've started doing more that there are the opportunities are limitless as to how I can help encourage people and help people in their journeys.
Wonderful. I think it's a great multifaceted approach. I think attacking each one of these issues on a different platform is very, very wise because, like you said, you might get the reader, you might get the listener, you might get the person who just needs counseling themselves. What would you say to a person who feels very stuck right now, stuck in their relationship, stuck in their job, feel like they're just spinning their wheels?
I think that sometimes the reason we are stuck is because we're so distracted.
Hmm.
We're distracted with everything that's going on around us. And a lot of times we're distracted with problems that are not our own. And so we don't take the opportunity to look into ourselves and really what we need, just because we're taking on so much. And so that is a big catalyst for this book as well. Yes, we are women. We try to be everything for everyone, but we have to realize that self-care is very important. When we talk about self-care, a lot of times, people talk about, or going to the spa and, going to get your nails done and different things like that. But mental self-care is very, very, very important. And so you have to take that time to just be quiet sometimes. And sometimes free writing is an amazing tool that you can use, but the point is sometimes you have to get quiet and understand what you need for yourself as well, rather than just being everything for everybody. And so the way to get unstuck, I believe, is to start with self-care, mental self-care, as well as spiritual self-care, as well as physical self-care. But
Exactly.
that's a starting point.
Yep, absolutely. Take care of your body, mind, spirit, and soul, without a
Exactly.
doubt. Uh, the title, Built for This, The Capacity of a Woman. Tell us a little bit about that. Why'd you name the book that?
Because sometimes it's hard for us to understand that we're not defeated,
Hmm.
you know? Um, a lot of times people will dwell on failures or mistakes or mishaps. And sometimes we have to turn the narrative around and not look at things as failures or mistakes or mishaps. Sometimes we have to look at those things as building blocks or bridges to get to the next level. Um, and so when I say built for this, we have to understand that there's always something on the other side. So rather than feeling defeated, look at it as a challenge to be overcome, and then know that you have the tools within you to overcome the challenge.
Exactly.
So
You're built for this. You got this.
you
You can
got this.
handle this. You've got the capacity. Very,
Absolutely.
very well said. The name of the book is Built for This, The Capacity of a Woman. It is written by Rena Washington. It is an empowering guide that is filled with real life stories and encouragement, serving as a blueprint for women navigating life's challenges with faith and resilience. This book could be the game changer that you're looking for as we start 2025. Make it a great year. Pick up this book. It'll be your blueprint for life going forward with a foundation in faith. Rena, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan, for having me.
It's my pleasure. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.